Welcome back to part 2 of PT.
Spooky!
Now shit's getting real. Oh no, it's midnight.
Dun, dun, dun.
It happened.
Now we can go to bed.
It's a real, you can tell it's a scary game because the clock says, ooh. I'm glad that tickled you.
Reminds you of that dumb joke in Family Guy. Brian, there's a message in my alphabet soup. It says, ooh, Peter, those are Cheerios.
What's going on with the lighting here?
So when I was recording this, I was like, oh, the radio's saying stuff. I'll leave it here to make it look dramatic. And then when I was editing this, I was like, oh man, that's really basic
Well, Chris,
video game fuck up.
something that I wanted to ask you, though, was that, do you think that was meant to be part of the game?
I think that's just,
I think that's a fuck up.
Okay.
yeah, we want to get this out soon. Well, fuck it. Hopefully they don't notice.
This is, I mean, I know this is supposed to be scary, but this is just what my house looks like anyway. Isn't that scary?
This is another thing where YouTube fucks it up, but when you're playing this, it's actually somewhat mildly disorienting, so it's effective then.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So,
This
By
just,
proxy through a YouTube video, it's kind of like, that's weird.
so when you walk then, like, it makes you go super fast and all the motion gets blurry.
Yes, and then you're trying to look around and figure out, like, why is the looping hallway super looping? And oh god, what the fuck, my head? So the real thing you're looking for, and why I'm looking down, is you're looking for a dropped painting. And that's something you either figure out or read about online.
So, Chris, first time you played this then, like, I mean, so I'm going to assume, did you just play this without reading up at all about it? You just played it, and I'm going to assume you had no idea what the fuck you were doing.
I tried to get as far as I could without looking up online, because, like, that's, supposed to be part of the fun of this, for the most part. This is, it was here or the hello bit where I had to...
Look it up? Gotcha.
Well, yeah, for one, stop and walk away, and then a bit later, when I was courageous again, Google it.
this just looks like a scene from a Plinkett video.
Who took my medicine?
Yeah, basically.
PT is the stupidest game ever made by anyone.
You better still be tied up in that bathroom.
I
So this,
gotta go milk my fetus. Anyone want to help me?
I think I left him in the sink. So this isn't like the game fucking with you. This is me trying to hold the right stick in and look around,
Yeah.
and continually fucking up.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I thought you were doing this, Chris, for dramatic effect, because every time the footsteps get a bit closer, you back out again. I thought this was you trying to be like artsy-fartsy with the OP footage.
Oh no. But I found out every time you do that, it resets the scene here, which I didn't think they would do, because that's a very
Video game
I don't
thing
know.
to do.
video game thing. Exactly, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, there was a moment we were recording the last part where there was like spooky noises, and I turned around and Kerry and Ben were standing behind me, and I fucking jumped out of my skin.
And then Ben started talking with the baby voice from this.
Oh yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, so coming up now is
We'll get to that.
coming up.
Oh no!
Whoa, 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 oh yeah, whoa, whoa. I'll never turn back.
Here we go, buddy. Here we go, buddy. Here we
No,
go.
that's,
Here we
that's
go.
I Am All of Me, you fool. Quit mixing up Crush 40 songs.
I'm just making fun of Sonic lyrics, man. Oh,
Okay,
hey!
so this is the part that lost me. Because like this, I think to me, this transforms the game from being like spooky into the just kind of stupid. This isn't
Yeah.
to me like the fact that it, like maybe if the voice sounded more like evil, like in say The Exorcist, this might work. But this sounds like a 1950s narrator. Like that voice, I don't think
Not
it's very
even.
scary. Like it,
Not even.
For
That
some reason, it's the radio broadcaster voice,
it's
or maybe a similar one.
that to me it sounds like your typical C-list anime voice actor.
so all of them got it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it sounds like that one guy from Final Fantasy 15. Of course, they're all bad actors, but still, it's like, oh my god, stop.
So, Gareth, do you think it would have been more effective if they gotten like a young child in the studio to record? Or
Yes, I
something?
was going to suggest that.
Yeah, I would say either a small child or again go with like It might be a cliche, but again, like a kind of like demon-esque voice. Anything other than just 30-year-old man, because that's not scary.
Personally, I think the super demon thing would have been too far in the other direction for me.
True, but at least at that point that you could, they're trying to be scary. Just a like disformed fetus talking with a regular man's voice is not, again, like that's the kind of shit you would expect to see in like Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like that's not that funny.
It is weird.
It's not that scary. It's just kind of goofy. And again, at that point, I like all the tension and fear just dropped for me. I'm not sure if I was playing the game, it might have been different. But just watching, I was just like, nope, it's lost me. It's completely lost me.
That's one where I wonder if, say, in the final game, that would have had a payoff. Like, oh, in this weird spirit spooky town, like this murdered child is grown up and is now fucking with everything there because, I don't know, Silent Hill.
Well,
and if that's something they were setting up to pay off and never got to, or if it's just a weird creative decision.
Yeah, because I forget, didn't they say that like this trailer that wouldn't even be in the game? Like nothing in this trailer would have been. Sorry, nothing in this demo would have actually been in the final game.
I think they meant that you're not going to come back to this hallway, but maybe it was that too. Okay.
So at this point, like this type of weird shit where like it's fucking up the picture, it's the kind of stuff that like Eternal Darkness would occasionally do.
I like it. You don't see it crazy often in video games.
It's cool.
It doesn't make sense to me though. Like, why would my vision be doing this? This is something I'd see like in a VHS tape.
Too many games, baby.
No, no one agree. Oh, okay.
I was caught between I agree and this is already doing so much like this to fuck with you as a player as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Chris, explain that. Explain what just happened.
This is, oh, you've done everything correctly so far. Here's the next loop. Hey, the game reset, but things are different. And there's still some parts of this game that even though you can get most of it down to a science, sometimes when I come back from this, you'll see me focus on that bag in the corner for a bit.
For quite a bit.
Well, sometimes it talks.
Ooh.
It's the baby, and it says all stuff like, oh, I know I'm me, are you the real you? The gap in the door is a separate reality, be careful, and it just sits there. So I was trying to trigger that, because like, hey, that's another weird thing. But sometimes on your loops, it'll just sit there.
Okay, see, I thought, watching the footage, I thought that was just the end, and I was like, why did you make, I was like, you could have made this whole thing one part, you idiot. Why did you put 7 minutes into a different video for? And then I thought that you would just show off alternate shit. I didn't realize that this was part of the same narrative.
Yeah. So all the strikes on the walls, obviously, or maybe not obviously, supposed to represent like, oh, you're going through the thing, and someone already was through here a lot.
Just like Groundhog Day.
It's Bill Murray in the bag. I can't wait for unlockable Bill Murray mode. They're going to patch that in, right?
Patch it into a game that has no chance of ever being released, yeah.
That sounds up his alley. So this is a tricky part of the game.
So what's the name of the guy? Guillermo Cars 2-0?
No, Stephen.
Oh, you mean Guillermo del Toro Storio?
Stephen,
yes.
Yeah, we've been over this. It's J. James Avatar.
No, you can't. Chris, I need you to bleep that joke because that comes out in a couple parts from now. So no one gets to hear that joke you just made, Garrett.
No one will understand it.
Now, as part of the PT lore, once that part's out, if you come back to this video, it'll unbleep.
So is this part of the game where you have to watch that clock strike 0 before you can proceed?
Yes, and this is where it gets tricky, and this is where I fucked it up in a video. There were very specific things here that everyone had to work together to figure out. One of them is, once the clock strikes midnight, take exactly 10 steps, which is hard to gauge with the controls and the sound in a way.
Who figured that out?
Everyone just tried shit. Just threw everything against the wall. It's like, maybe you have to take 10 steps, someone thought. Eventually.
So what happens at this point, Chris? So At this point, are you doing everything according to what people had found out, or after you had realized how to get past the hello section, were you back to just trying everything on your own?
This was me miscounting 10 steps a few times and having to go through the loop.
Okay. But so, if you play this the first time, so I mean, like...
You are probably going to die if you get this far. Or you have a guide open and you know what to do anyway.
Well, no, I was going to say, so I mean, do you have to watch the clock to get to 10 steps, or can you walk around and just wait for it to ding?
I think maybe you could, but it's just easier to do it this way because the 10 steps counts after it hits midnight.
Gotcha.
It's like maybe if you walk around you're fine, but it's just easier to not take that risk and just manually wait. And I think there's sound cues anyway once it hits midnight. Like, you don't have to be here, but it's just easier.
I like that to go off a joke that Steven said earlier, all of the beer bottles on the floor really does make this place look like Mr. Plinkett's house. I gotta go shoot some guys.
Has anybody seen my refrigerator?
3, 4. It's like Sesame Street.
I'm glad.
This is me going, oh shit, I fucked up. Because when you do it correctly, you hear a baby laugh.
So do you have to stand still until the noise goes away?
You pretty much hear it instantaneously once you've allowed a few milliseconds to lapse.
No, I'm talking about the noise going on right now. Like, I'm just curious why you're standing still now.
This is me, like I said earlier, once the sound is playing, this is, okay, if you fuck up, she's going to kill you mode, like if you find her. So this is just me, like, I don't really know what's going on.
Oh, I heard a baby.
Oh, there you go, okay. So for the second trick, you have to, in one of 3 spots, basically trigger the girl and get her to show up. This is... Every time I've played this, I've gotten her in the bathroom window, and I didn't get it, so I cut a good section of that out. I left just enough in here so we could talk about this and say, it's weird if you're playing this by yourself and don't have a guide, and it kind of sucks. But yeah, I always got her here, and you can see her through the cruddy window behind you, and it's all creepy, and ooh. I didn't get that. In fact, I was not able to see her during this ending portion, and that's part of why this game still kind of allures to me, is that even when you have a step-by-step pattern to get through everything, there are still variables that don't really make sense. I wouldn't say it is great, but...
There's a word for that, Chris. It's called inconsistent.
I believe it's 2 words, and it's called bad design.
Yep.
So is this the only place where you can get her to come, or are there other sections you can try things?
There's here, I think by the phone and by the radio, but I'd never gotten either of those places to work ever, so I was just trying to go with what always worked for me, but no luck.
What?
Was that actual baby?
It was my baby.
Oh god, this is getting really meta. I was like, I don't remember it sounding like that, but...
Rip roast!
So, 5th time is the charm?
Yeah, man. Keep trying. You'll get the thing you can see on YouTube eventually. But yeah, I don't know. I'm always... I wish I was there when this first came out, because I'm sure those were fucking crazy times of like, what the hell, just, what is this thing? You know, like, you didn't have the names attached, you didn't know what it was back then. It was just like, well, fuck, here's a mystery, let's solve it. And then the payoff is like, oh, fuck, okay, this is a video-ass game.
It would have been great. Would have been great if this was like a demo for a new Scooby-Doo game. Go around solving mysteries and to get
Scooby's peanut butter therapy.
Mystery Inc. get dragged the hell. And that corpse we saw in the that fetus we saw in the sink was actually just a shaved Scrappy-Doo.
I was really hoping you could say Scrappy. So another one I saw was, hey, go look at the text for a while. Then if you hear the noise, take 2 more sets of 10 steps. And stare at the phone, which I'd never done before, but it wound up working eventually. Yeah, so this is my problem with PT, and it's probably incredibly apparent right now. If you're playing this somehow still in 2017 under the guise of like, oh, this is a very scary thing, you know, if the talking fetus thing didn't already do it for you, this is where all the tension and horror and suspense drops like a rock. And at this point, it's not a, you know, goosebump thing. It's just like, follow the directions or hit your head against the wall till it works.
So, once
your payoff's a canceled game.
So once the baby laughs, are you safe until you can trigger the ending?
You have completed one of 3 steps when you hear the baby laugh, and they have to be done sequentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't complete them sequentially, do you die?
You are prone to dying, yes.
So,
now, if you want to know the great trick here,
I do.
You'll see the little PS4 icon come up and be like, oh, the microphone's been connected or disconnected. I forgot that for a while, one of the most likely ways to trigger the baby laugh is you have to plug a microphone in to the PS4 or the controller and say words such as Jareth or make noise or stuff like that. For some reason, Jareth was a common word for triggering that. And no one's sure if Jareth was a secret phrase or something, but it took me a while. Then I had to scramble and find that really shitty PS4 microphone. And
I'll be honest, Chris. When I was skip ahead in the footage, I thought you would just because I skipped it across it very quickly.
I was like checking my phone while playing or something.
No, I
forgot to take it out.
I thought you would just unlock some kind of trophy for like staring at the phone for like 5 minutes and not moving. Like, congratulations, you're an idiot type of trophy.
That'd be a great trophy, actually.
There's something like that in South Park Stick of Truth. If as your character, there's a section where you get shrunken down and your parents are having sex behind you. If you stay and watch your parents have sex for like 5 minutes, you get a trophy. You get a trophy for being a pervert. That game's great. Stick of Truth's a good game. This is scary.
That's very disturbing.
A phone. Nobody has phones like that anymore.
You can't tell who's calling.
How much longer we got to stare at the phone for?
Well, we got
God, there's another. There's
4 more minutes left.
Oh my God, there's another 3 minutes of just the phone.
Guys, PT's really scary. Okay.
Okay, so Chris, when you got to the ending, had the game come out, do you think you would have actually invested the money and time to play Silent Hills?
I'm one of those people that will always keep an eye on everything this guy does. So, absolutely. I don't know if I would have got it right away, but I would have eventually checked it out. Especially since apparently even the gameplay in this was supposed to be nothing like the actual final game.
Yeah, because I mean, like, do you think it would have played? I believe the Silent Hills play more like a 3D game, kind of like a 3D perspective. No,
yeah,
third-person game.
I think they probably would have.
Not first. So, do you think it would have played like that? Or do you think they would have kept it first person? Because I mean, it is kind of weird to like bring in a name actor like Norman Reedus to play the main character in your first-person perspective game, unless it just would have been like a shitload of cutscenes in the game. It just seems weird to pay all that money for a face and then keep it. Well,
that's funny because in Phantom Pain, the big portion of MGS5, he hired in that guy from 24, Chris
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland. I don't know why I thought it was Chris Sutherland. That's a guy at Playtonic. But yeah, so they brought in him and they like mocapped him and everything, and he was a voice actor for the snake in that game. Barely speaks, and most of the mocap is just him staring with like a dead 30-yard glare. And everyone figured out pretty much it's like, oh, Kojima just wanted this guy in his game for some reason. And they didn't have enough money to give him a lot of lines, so
I just remember everyone being pissed because they replaced what's his name, David Hayter.
Yeah, And it wasn't even that they got like, you know, did it for a good reason. Like, you know, he's a fine actor. He does fine when he does talk in that game, but...
Are you guys talking about Mr. Zombie Man? From
No, this is the guy from 24. He was in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh.
That's when they swapped...
He played Snake in that game, and that annoyed everyone.
Oh.
I would have been fine if it didn't feel like him just wanting to get a celebrity in there. But, and you know, I even like I said, I liked it when he was acting, you know, I think he was fine as the character, but there's just nothing there. There's so many times where you're like yelling at the TV, like, just fucking say something!
Yeah.
And he doesn't!
We hired this actor to do nothing. We hired this actor for his likeness.
And it'd be something if, well, for one, you know, there's no likeness because it's still that Snake character, but two, they brought him in for facial capture and he's fucking like dead staring most of the time.
Yeah, you don't need an animator for a dead stare.
Oh, but hey, we did it. It recognized my vocal input. I got mad about Metal Gear and it worked.
Well, wouldn't have saying those numbers have worked? Like, what's the point of the game giving you those numbers if you never use them?
You know, I wonder if that would have worked. It's just one of those things. Kojima just wanted to put his birthday in. Like, he himself is a character you can recruit in one of the games and add to your army, and his bio is like, I really like movies. And
so
it's like you can send Kojima off to war.
So you unlocked it by looking at the phone. When you make it work in the mirror, do you still hear the words "you are chosen," or is that just for the phone working?
I think eventually you have to come back to the phone. I feel like somehow I was able to skip the second step because you're supposed to like. I guess the mirror is the only place you can see her, but you like trigger her vocal thing. I don't really even fully understand it still. Graphics.
Chris, to be fair, we were looking at graphics for the last 45 minutes.
But this is a different graphics.
I'm gonna reuse a common thing I said in 06. Is this because again I guess just because the quality on YouTube doesn't look that great. Is this in game or is this like a CG cutscene thing?
Fox Engine usually every cutscene was with in-game abilities, so this would have been how the game looked. Except probably bumped up to 60 frames per second because the Fox Engine's pretty fucking good.
See, foxes are better than hedgehogs. Everyone's known that since Sonic 2.
I mean, it's a much better engine and it's looking way better than Force's at 60 frames per second, so I'm just saying.
It's crazy, like the CG is good, but because it still has the kind of like uncanny valley thing, which is like, it looks like a person, but it don't, you know?
Yeah. Join us for Sonic Forces next month, everyone.
Oh my god! Hills, there's more than one. Plural, not singular. Holy shit.
You see that hill? You can go to it. There's all the names. These are people. That company's dead. That thing's dead.
I thought he just moved away from Konami, but kept
he
his
made
team.
a new Kojima Productions, but that one is dead.
Okay.
Yay!
Thank you everyone for joining us for the first spooky game in spooky October. After Spooktober, after Portal ends, there'll be.
Well, spoiler alert, Gareth. I guess we're doing Portal, everyone.
Portal would have been up by the time this part's up, you know.
What?
Portal's the Tuesday game. Part 1 of Portal goes up after Part 1 of PT does.
Does it?
Welcome to our live LP of figuring out the FTCR schedule.
Wait, does it?
Yeah, normally that's what we do. We have a Monday, Thursday game and a Tuesday, Friday game.
No. We start off the week with Luigi's Mansion and PT, you piece of shit. Portal's next week.
Luigi's Mansion.
Fucking piece of shit.
Luigi's Mansion's first. I thought Luigi's in the schedule, unless you guys updated it when I wasn't there. PT and Portal were the first games.
If only we had a thing to look at.
I do have a thing. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. Well then, Chris, leave that in.
I leave every bit of this in.